Let's talk about the basics of a mindful meeting, particularly meetings online. In this case, I'm going to be talking about Zoom, but the same things apply whether you're using whatever, Skype or WhatsApp or, dare I say it, Teams. Do you hear that? Those are some comfortable bar stools. I'm really excited because I got 2 new bar stools. Well, they're not new, they're secondhand, but for me, they're new. And they're super comfy. Look at this. It's like as a back support. It's got like little leather. It's probably pleather, by the way. And they're bouncy, very comfortable. $30 for 2. That is amazing. The power of secondhand stuff. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about a message that I got from Zoom. No, it wasn't just sent to me. I think it was sent to everybody who uses Zoom. But it talked about mindful meetings and it gave everybody a checklist. And I thought it was so simple. It's a simple reminder because with everybody working online, I think a lot of people have adopted clever technology and new tricks and cameras and keypads and sounds. But let's not forget about the really the most basic things around meetings. So I'll go through the checklist with you. There's a link in the description below. You can look at it yourself. You can read along while we go through it, and I'll add some thinking because I think it is it's pretty spot on. Oh, and if this is your first time here, my name is Yuri. That's a Russian name. I'm Dutch. I live in Singapore, and I create content for people working at the front lines of innovation. People need practical and simple tools to navigate the murky waters of innovation, because I think there's a lot of kind of lofty, strategic, high-level content out there. And if you want more content around that one, leave me a comment. I can take this a couple of levels higher. But I have a feeling a lot of people come here like the little practical, everyday things they can use in for their Scrum meetings, for their UX. Maybe they are running ideations or insight sessions. Whatever it is, that's what this content is for. So let's look at the Mindful Meetings checklist, which was sent by Zoom. So we've got the screen on over here. You can see me right here. And let's have a look. It says, follow these simple steps for happier, more productive meetings. Most people don't like meetings. And it's because a lot of meetings suck. But they don't have to suck because meetings are essential. And there's some simple ways to make them better. That's what this is all about. So first and foremost, ask yourself, is this meeting really necessary? I think one of the biggest reasons why people hate meetings, because we have too many of them. We have too many pointless meetings. Meetings that are well structured, that lead to output. Good, people like those. Meetings that are not, no. So only call a meeting if you have a clear purpose or goal. Collaboration, open discussion are essential to achieving your goals, and you need to discuss complex and sensitive information. The question, of course, is whether those platforms can protect that sensitive information, but that's for another day. If you answer no to these, stop, find other ways. It says email, instant messaging, or quick phone call. If you can, wherever you are in the world, go meet people. Sometimes it's good to look people in the eyes and connect with people, particularly because we've been locked up for so long. So before the meeting, check your invite list. Is everyone there for a reason? If people don't know why, you can ask people. If they don't know why they're there, if they have nothing to contribute, then you're literally wasting oxygen, you're wasting energy and airtime for other people. So look at your invite list. Who are they supposed to be there? And if so, what is their role? Then it is create and share an agenda. Am I giving people what they need to come prepared? If you share some kind of agenda, clearly with the purpose and the goal there, it lets people know what to expect. Now, I'm not a big fan of giving people super detailed agendas because sometimes conversations go a bit off track. Sometimes you find out halfway that something else is a bit more important and you need to deviate from that. So I like to keep things a bit more flexible, but let people know what to expect so they know how to contribute, they know how to give their input. Schedule the appropriate amount of time. Is my meeting the right length? Can it be shorter? Particularly with working online. A lot of things that may have worked in a physical space might not work in a virtual meeting setting anymore. I've done a video about how long your meeting should be. I'll put that one up right over here. But basically challenge the time a bit. If your meeting is over 60 minutes, look at your agenda, look at what you need to achieve. Maybe 21 minutes is all you need for that one. Maybe you need a bit more time, or maybe you want to divvy up that time a bit. And then get in the right mindset. Am I prepared, focused, and ready to be engaged, be an engaged host, participant, or facilitator? Yeah, so if you are the host, you're facilitating. That is what you do. Facilitating doesn't mean you have to have facilitator from the HR department on your name card. Anybody can and everyone should learn facilitation skills. But get into the right mindset. Those are really simple things like what gets you in a good state. If it's a meeting that you're running, if you are hosting it, you need to be quite alert. You need to listen to people, and there's probably a bit of tech going on if you don't have somebody to do that for you. Getting the right mindset is important. So make sure you're well rested, maybe grab a cup of tea before, go for a bit of a walk, get into the right mindset and prepare. Then during the meeting, start with small talk. Did I greet everyone and set a positive tone for the meeting? Yeah, start with some kind of opener. Think about what that opener is. The opener does not have to be small talk. Some people like to play a bit of a game, and a game doesn't have to be a silly one. Could be simple as, in the chat, I've got 3 questions up there. As people come in, I want you to have a think about those, and in a minute we're going to share those back. It could be something like that. Have a bit of that chat before to put people in the right state of mind, and acknowledge them when they come in. Then it's encouraging participation. Am I actively facilitating discussion towards the meeting goal or the purpose? That's where the agenda comes in, because it can be hard to do these things on the spot. I mean, one of the things which I like to do is just to go, what are the questions we need to get through? You can even do it at the start, but I would suggest doing that before the meeting. Then people know how to be actively engaged and how to encourage participation. One little build on this one is give people some roles before they join. Maybe it is sharing back of something. Maybe it's running a little discussion group, making sure that the tech is working, or letting everybody know they should get off mute.
Hey, Paul, you're on mute.
Those kind of things. Then it says stick to the agenda. Yes, if you have a well-prepared agenda, you should stick to it. Although, of course, there are situations where sometimes new information comes to light, new questions get asked, and you might have to deviate a little bit from that. But rather than changing the plan, maybe it's a good time to check in with the people and say, it sounds like we're going a bit here. Is that something we need to talk about now, or something that we need to do later? But particularly for people who may not be that experienced in kind of going off track, having just a good agenda before, sticking to that one is important. But just keep your eye on the end goal. Keep your eye on that purpose, because sometimes you've prepared something and anyway. Keep a flexible mind, but keep your eye on the ball. Then it says run an inclusive meeting. Am I giving everyone a chance to participate equally? So many meetings, 2 people talk, 5 people just sit back and just wait or just do other things. It doesn't have to be that way. You can use breakout rooms. You can have well-planned activities. You can decide on roles and responsibilities, or you can decide on an order. Let's say you ask somebody a question, you ask somebody to prepare something for that meeting, set an order before. Maybe it's alphabetical order, maybe it's length of hair. Pick something that works for you and then go around and make sure everybody has a say. One way to make sure that the conversations don't get dominated by a handful of people is to give people breakout rooms, give a bit of breakout time. If you don't know how to do this, there's heaps of videos on YouTube about how you can do this, particularly in Zoom. It's pretty easy. You can pre-assign them, or you can have automated. You just put people in groups of 3, hit one button. That's it. Then, after the meeting, send highlights, action items, and recordings. Does everyone have the information they need to take action? I would assume when you bring in people together that you want some kind of action. Something needs to come out of this. Decision making, this could be ideas, could be actions, action plans, action steps. But make sure that people afterwards have that information. It says highlights, action items. Some people just want the recording of the meeting. I'm not a big fan of that, because sometimes you've got too many recordings of live sessions, and that gets me into I'm not going to go, I'll just watch the recording later on. So if you want people actively engaged, maybe don't send them that afterwards, but definitely have something to follow up. Even if it's just a thank you, here are the 5 things we decided on, and then what needs to happen, and maybe people need access to information. Then of course, gather feedback and contributions. Did I hear from those who weren't at the meeting or didn't say much? Well, that's part of the meeting, making sure that everybody has a fair say, but we all know some people talk more and the other people stay quite a bit more. I think you need to deal with that during the meeting, but make sure that afterwards you check in with people and make sure that it was worthwhile, that they get out of it what they needed to get out of it. Or even if that wasn't the case and they weren't contributing at all, maybe have that conversation with them and say, what can I do to make sure that you play a bigger role? Because we want to hear from, you're the guy or you're the girl on this, and we want to hear your input. That's how you gather some feedback. That's how you improve, because practice makes progress. That's right, not perfect. There is no perfection. Evaluate, and finally evaluate and improve your meeting experience. Was my meeting effective, efficient, and was it useful? Well, effective is, did you reach the goals that you set before? If the goal was to come up with a brand plan or a go-to-market strategy or a new idea for packaging donuts in the office, whatever it is, did you come up with that plan or with those ideas? Was it efficient? And that's where you go back and say, was this a good time spent. And you can think about the format, the platform, but also the timing. Maybe next time you go, maybe I should send people some reading before, because very often you send people reading before they don't do it. Maybe there's a way to make sure that they read it first before they give their input. And of course, was it useful? So that's it. Thank you for the people at Zoom. If you're watching this, I thoroughly enjoy using your platform. These are just the really basic things, and I thought it was a good reminder that it's often the basic things that make it work. Technology is not going to change this. Yes, of course, if the tech doesn't work, that's a bit of a headache. But they should never replace really basic things like these. Right? These are the things that make sure that you've got useful meetings. You get somewhere. Yeah, so keep it simple. Checklist is in the description below. Have a look and create your own checklist. Change things. Think about the things you need to do before, during, and after. Keep it simple. You know, that's where you have better meetings. Let's not have that many meetings. Let's make sure they're more. Anyway, I'll see you next time.